everyone, and welcome to MPITV. I am Sarah Solomon, and I am so excited because I have been trying to convince this guy, Rich Luna, with the Meeting Professional, to join me on MPITV for quite some time. So this is our first time on camera together, sir, and it is Global Meetings Industry Day. So what a better way to celebrate than being here together?
Well, if I was going to get in front of the camera, what better day to do it than the day when our industry celebrates all that we do. So thank you for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy you're here, and we're actually in Las Vegas at the HyperX Esports Arena, which is a phenomenal venue. It's my first time here, so if you guys haven't checked it out, you have got to. And we are going to chat with different industry leaders that are here in Las Vegas about the impact of our industry. So why don't we get things started off with John Schreiber from the LVCVA. Thank you, John. Very good. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this very important and proud day.
I know, there's a lot to be proud of, especially here in Las Vegas.
I couldn't agree more.
So let's talk a little bit about, we talk about the impact of our industry, right? But how does it actually impact economically and socially the Las Vegas community?
So in 2018, Las Vegas hosted 24,000 meetings here in the destination. That equates to supporting 65,000 jobs and $9.8 billion in economic impact. It's a very important segment within the overall market segmentation of the visitation here in Las Vegas.
And actually, Rich, you have been doing a feature called The Decade of Change,
right,
where you looked at Las Vegas and how it's really changed over the past 10 years. So John, you'd be the perfect person to speak to this change. So give us a glimpse into how it's different today.
Well, today we have 11 million square feet of meeting space. We are adding over 3 million square feet of meeting space in the next 5 years. In addition to that, we have 10,000 new hotel rooms coming online over the next 3 years as well. So the landscape continues to change. The destination continues to reinvent itself. And I think that's what keeps Las Vegas on top from a meetings and trade show destination.
Yeah, and Rich, from a technology standpoint, I mean, this is the perfect really venue to talk about the technology and the change, the shift that we've seen with that. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. Too? So we have progressive meeting venues or options here in Las Vegas. This is just one of them. From T-Mobile Arena to the new Las Vegas Raiders Stadium, we have a tremendous amount of options available to meeting planners who are looking for something different. And we continue to look at new ways to provide those venues for those planners. And this is a great example of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, thank you so much, John, for joining us on MPITV. Thank you for having us in Las Vegas. We're excited to be here.
Global Meetings Impact Day.
I love that. I love that phrase.
We're excited. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you. And Rich, let's talk about for you, how I think you and I both fell into this industry by accident, really, right? Mm-hmm. So how has the industry really impacted you and your career, and what's the, I guess, greatest thing you've learned about this industry?
Well, it's really all about the people. And I think when we talk about face-to-face and what we like to say at MPI, when we meet, we change the world. Well, I think that really is what this is all about today. We were talking with some folks earlier today, and they were kind of talking about one of the biggest things they've really enjoyed about the strength of the industry is that we continue to value face-to-face meetings. And I think that's really been kind of the thing that I've been most impressed with in talking with industry leaders and the meeting planners and the suppliers, is how valuable that is in doing our business.
Yeah, and I love this day because the value of face-to-face meetings is huge, and who better to join us now on set than this advocate right here, Michael Dominguez with MGM Resorts International. Now, you really champion advocating for this industry, not only advocating, but educating all of us on the true impact of face-to-face. So if you could talk to us about your work with the Meetings Mean Business Coalition.
Sure.
And not only the importance of educating our industry, but getting the word out there to other communities.
Well, the Meetings Means Business Coalition, we really kind of re-engaged it a few years back. And in 2009, it was really important for our industry to unite when we were all under attack. And I think what's really important today is that that community is together and we're not under attack. And that means we're well prepared for what may be coming at us. And what we looked at with Meetings Means Business is we need to get the broader communication outside of our industry. And how do we start to get businesses to understand the importance of meetings so they don't cut travel the first time we have a slowdown and a downturn? How do we get government officials and local residents that maybe some, and you're from Orlando, maybe sometimes the residents complain about all the business that's in there and how crowded it is and the traffic, and yet we forget to remind them, do you know your fire and your police and your schools are actually being paid by the occupancy tax of people visiting your community? That's us connecting the dots so that people understand they should be celebrating that it's crowded and busy, because that means your community is actually going to be better from the money that's being left behind. Those are the things we've learned very quickly, and there's a couple of things. Economics is easy. We can clearly define economic impact, jobs that are created, how important that is in the industry, but we have to be prepared as an industry. What if the crisis is medical? What if there's a health scare? At that point, nobody wants to hear that we're saying we create a lot of jobs. But we do need to be prepared that we have the head of the CDC telling you it's safe to travel, and this is what you should be doing. This is the work that's going on with the Meetings Means Business Coalition, saying what's the message, who's going to be the stakeholder that actually delivers that message for us.
Yeah, it's important work being done. And
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, we talked earlier, John spoke a little bit earlier about kind of how this city has reinvented itself.
Yeah.
We talked about that in our series, The Decade of Change, where how so much has changed over the last 10 years as a result of that. This is a perfect example, this facility here, and you guys have really been at the forefront of a lot of that innovation. I mean, talk about how this really is kind of an example of the future of kind of our industry.
Yeah, I think what's the beauty of Las Vegas, but also the beauty of our industry, is that we listen to what our customers are asking for. And for anyone who's ever seen when I've presented in the industry, I've been talking about Eat Sports for about 3 years because it was coming, and it was coming fast, and it's now mainstay. This is very mainstream in what you're seeing. This is the first of its kind, though, where you have a permanent competition arena that was built specifically for esports in mind. But the audience that's there, I think we make a mistake in our industry, is that we have all these assumptions of what that looks like. Not to know that the fastest growing segment are women, and almost 25% of the audience are women, and that it's not a kid's game. If you look at the ages of people really active in esports, it's that 34 to 44 ages. We make these assumptions that this is kids and it's not important. This tells me this is behavior, and this is how we start to consume content, and it's universal. And what I think is most important about esports, anybody who's ever played it, they're playing in a community. And I think that's no difference than the meetings community. They are connecting virtually with people around the world, and I think that's a big missed point when you talk about esports.
And I think that's the great lesson in our industry, is that we're continually evolving, and we have to just kind of be mindful of that.
I would agree. And look, the nice thing with our industry, nobody's shy. So they are letting us know what they expect and what they see coming. That's why I've enjoyed it for 30 years. It's an industry that keeps changing and keeps evolving. And I'm fortunate that we live in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is one that's always changing. We have the resources, and maybe it's the gambler's mentality in us, but we take risks. And those risks is what I think is or gives us the opportunity to teach others things that we should be trying.
Lastly, Mike, I want to talk about, we were talking about this earlier today, is like the future of this industry, our talent pool that we're tapping into. A lot of us fell into this industry by accident and happened to have fallen in love with it, which is great. But how do we communicate out to students that are maybe not necessarily on the hospitality track that there's a lot of opportunity here?
Yeah, we've talked about this because we've done a great job with the universities and the hospitality schools, but we need I think a larger advocacy campaign from our community at the high schools. Who's at the job fair at the high schools before the kids have picked their tracks on where they want to go? Because most kids in high school, they know a hotel that I've checked in on vacation with mom and dad. They do not know that there's a career path behind it. I think that's something we could do better. It's something that I think MPI could champion in some of our other organizations, but there's an opportunity there for sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Happy GMID to you.
Happy GMID Day, guys.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there's a lot to be learned and listened to today, and the conversation about gamification is really taking over the industry, right? So what else have you been learning in your kind of reporting through TMP about gamification and how it's really coming into the industry?
Well, I think you just hit it right there. I mean, it really is just so growing and booming, and sometimes we have an opportunity now to really capture that trend versus following it. kind of really getting ahead of it. And I think that's another important point that we learn about today is, just really so many smart people that are in our business that kind of understand that and help us kind of, put our arms around it.
Yeah, and speaking of smart people, we've got one joining us right now. You are brilliant, my friend, Lisa Messina with Caesars Entertainment. So Lisa, you have been in the hotel business for quite some time, right? So I feel like you could really speak to how hotel partners are really having to be at the forefront and innovative, and how that relationship is kind of shifting with how you do business with event organizers.
Absolutely. Well, event organizers' jobs are already very complex. We know that. And our job is to help them navigate those waters and make it a little less complex and to some degree creative and enjoyable. And so at Caesars Entertainment, as an example, we have partnered up with the Event Design Collective, where we're bringing customers in to get level 3 certification, which is currently the highest certification, help them navigate what can be a very complex planning process, make sure that they can tie back all the planning and investment they make in meetings to the ROI for their organizations. And so we're doing some very cool things with the Event Design Collective around that way. And that is one way of hotels and entertainment companies basically evolving and innovating to help our customers achieve their goals.
That education element is just so important. In fact, even everybody who's going to be here at this event today is going to get some credit hours toward continuing education. But talk about how important, particularly so much of the work that's being done at Caesars around educating not only the Caesars brand, but also the customers.
Absolutely. As you know, a lot of time and resources like funding for education can be a little bit strapped for some of our planner customers. And so that's a way that we're trying to put it on the calendar. We're trying to help them and sponsor them with that education, and then bring them in and help them with their goals and help them take that education back, share it with their greater teams, and then deliver on greater ROI for their organizations.
I want to shift gears a little bit, Lisa, and talk about women in leadership in our industry, you certainly being one of them, and how this is continuing to evolve and how women are really starting to have a seat at the table. Can you speak to that and sort of your hopes for the future of this industry?
Absolutely. So this industry is near and dear to my heart. I've literally grown up in it. I went to school for it. So I think I'm a little bit unique from the standpoint of the amount of time I have spent in it. But that is all the more while I'll invest in education of customers. I invest in time to talk to young people and help them with their trajectory. I think in the traditional, and you'll love this, 9-to-5 world of sales, human resources, women have achieved good leadership roles. I think what we really want to celebrate is some of the women who are in the operational roles as well, because they're critical to the future. And so our own Eileen Moore with Caesars Entertainment is the president of what we call our collection, which includes Harrah's, Link, Flamingo, and eventually Caesars Forum. And I want to celebrate people like her in her career and let people know that women in leadership doesn't have to be just reserved for what we traditionally called the administrative 9-to-5 roles in our industry, but that you can achieve great heights in the operational. Be a general manager, be a president, be a CEO, like you can do it. And I feel very confident about where our industry is going for women.
Love that. Thank you, Lisa, so much for joining us. Happy GMID to you.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks,
Thank
Lisa.
you. So, talking about education, WEC or MPI is creating an additional scholarship for WEC this year in Toronto. So if you're interested, you can actually donate to the MPI Foundation, which I'm very fond of. I actually sit on the Global Board of Trustees and champion the foundation and the future of this industry. Right. So this is the perfect day to do just that, is to give back to our industry through the foundation. And someone else who serves on the GBOT with me. Hi, Chandra. How are you?
Great to see you.
Here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So let's get personal. Let's talk about the industry and how it's really impacted you personally in your career.
Oh, this industry has been an amazing opportunity for me, and it started back when I was 18 years old. When I got into the industry, needed a job in college, and it has just been my path and my journey and my destiny, I believe. I love giving back to people, I love interacting with people, and I love the service aspect of the industry that we work in. So
Yeah, and part of that is your servant leadership through the Global Board of Trustees for the MPI Foundation. So tell us a little bit about the MPI Foundation and how it does support industry, professionals and students in our space.
Yeah, the MPI Foundation is fantastic to give back to our industry. It educates people who are coming out of school, wanting to get into our industry, even planners who are mid-career, who are looking to expand their knowledge on how to do something interesting or different for their meetings and events. The MPI Foundation allows people who need that type of support, maybe depending on where they're at in their career, to give back and really help their career flourish even more.
One of the things that obviously there's a lot of different sides to our industry, and sadly, human trafficking has been somewhat of a part of that. And we talked earlier today about you feeling a sense of pride in MPI signing the code against human trafficking. How important is that, and what's the message that sends kind of to our industry?
Well, I think it's fantastic that we as MPI is really setting the stage and saying, you know what, we're not going to tolerate that anymore.
Right.
I think living in Las Vegas, that is obviously something that is near and dear to our hearts, and we want to make sure that that's not acceptable anymore and that we're putting steps forward to stop it. And meetings and events are certainly a place where that could happen, and we just want to raise the awareness around that it's not okay and look out for signs so that maybe we can help people who maybe wouldn't have had that help before.
Love that. And let's lastly talk about your beautiful properties, Venetian Palazzo, and how you guys are continuing to innovate on the strip here.
Well, we've had a lot going on. We just finished a massive renovation on the Palazzo side. All of our rooms were renovated, all of our casino was renovated, and we've just brought in our cocktail collective, which is really adding a bit of a sophistication to nightlife, or people who are not looking for the nightclub, but they're looking for a great place to go to have an amazing cocktail and hang out with their friends. And so we're excited. We've got 4 new bars that have come into the property, and then we're looking at new renovations that are coming up here in the not so distant future. We also have the Sphere that we have announced, and we are very excited about that. It's going to be 18,000 people, and it's going to be state-of-the-art technology, nothing that you can find anywhere else. So we're excited about that also for the meetings and events industry, because keynotes will be taken to a whole nother level, general sessions, we're really excited to raise the bar here once again in Las Vegas.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, have fun. Thank you. Yeah, and this is really what Las Vegas is all about.
Right. And a great message. I mean, again, we have to deal with a lot of things in this industry, and we've already touched upon the value of education, the value and the importance of women, and making sure that we're providing opportunities, and then doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's true, and this is what I love about MPI too. It's constantly championing a lot of these social issues that you just talked about, and certainly education. Right. So and I'm super excited to be here. The keynote speaker is going to be taking the stage in about 30 minutes or so, and another big topic that we also discussed is gamification and the esports, being here at the HyperX Arena, perfect example of just how important, this industry is. So, hello. Hi, Mike, how are you?
Oh, Mike.
You snuck up on me. Good, no, I love it, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Happy GMID to you.
That's right, it's a wonderful day.
It is a wonderful day, and it's all about celebrating the impact of this industry. So talk to us about the impact of this industry on you personally and professionally.
Yeah, I mean, nothing happens without a face-to-face meeting. I mean, I challenge people to figure one good thing that ever happened that didn't first require a face-to-face interaction. Right. And so anytime that you want to accomplish something important, you get together with somebody so you can understand their emotion, you can read their face, you can read their body language, you can learn more, you can build a relationship that you can leverage for the future. Face-to-face is where it's at, and Global Meetings Industry Day celebrates that. So we're a big believer.
Mike, if you can tell CEOs of businesses one thing about the importance of allowing their team to attend conferences, go to face-to-face meetings, what would that be?
Well, I don't have to tell them. They don't become CEOs unless they know this. And so they know how important face-to-face interactions are. In our organization, we say if it's not that important, send an email. If it's important but not critical, pick up the phone. But if it's critical, go see somebody face-to-face. And if you've become a CEO of a big company that's having meetings in this world, you already know that. So nobody needs to tell them.
And go ahead, Rich.
Mike, we can't let you get away without talking about a city that continually reinvents itself and looks to the future. what's going on with Caesars Forum? Where are we with that wonderful facility that y'all are building?
Well, look, we're really excited about that. I mean, this is a great city for face-to-face interactions. I mean, Las Vegas has some of the best facilities in the world to meet in and to get to know people and to learn and to grow. And the Forum, we think, will be the best of the best. It'll have the 2 largest ballrooms ever built. We're less than a year away from opening. The calendar's really getting stacked, so we're quite excited about it. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see it when you're here.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that we were here for the groundbreaking,
Yeah.
and now we had a chance to look at it not that long ago, and it's just amazing how much progress has been made. So congratulations on that project moving along.
Yeah, thank you very much. It happens fast. We're excited about it.
Yeah, and it just speaks to how it's so important as we shift, as the industry shifts for hotel partners like Caesars to constantly be thinking 10 steps ahead, right?
Yeah.
So what else is going on within Caesars Entertainment, of course, outside of Caesars Forum, which is very exciting, that you'd like to share here today?
Yeah, I mean, Caesars right now is about bringing people together in unique environments, just like the one we're in here right now at the Luxor, right? So you bring people together at places like the Link Promenade, at the High Roller. You integrate gaming and restaurants and meeting space and great hotel rooms all inside of the same resort feel. It's about providing experiences to customers as they move through your building, and that's what we're focusing on. And so I think you'll see things like the Forum and the Link Promenade that really help us develop those types of experiences.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on everything you guys have going on, and thank you for joining us on MPITV. Appreciate it. Yes, you too.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. All right. Well, that was
Wow.
quite the lineup.
That was.
For your first go-round, how do you feel?
Oh, I'll tell you, kind of overwhelmed and impressed. I mean, so many powerful and smart and creative and energetic people, and we started off talking about what I was most impressed with when I came to this business, and that was 5 examples of it right there. Individuals who really have a lot of passion about what we do. We talked about education. I'll do a little plug here for our World Education Congress,
Yeah, please
WEC,
do.
coming up here in June in Toronto. We just won a big award from Eventex for the best association meeting last year, thanks to our partners in
Yes.
Indianapolis. What a great event that was, and we're hoping to do that again. But it also is an opportunity for our, for members and for our meeting professionals to engage and to do more face-to-face and get education.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So if you have not registered for WEC, please make sure you do so. So that does it for us. It is almost time to kickstart this event here at the beautiful stage behind us. So thank you for joining us on MPITV. Rich, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you haven't read the April issue of the Meeting
issue?
Professional, make sure you do so.
Yeah, well.
Yes. And thank you guys. We hope you're having so much fun from wherever you're celebrating around the world, and we'll see you next time.